in the season, nobody could take L's. I don't think so. At playoffs start now. The playoffs are absolutely starting right now. I'm having problems really looking at and with all due respect, looking at the standings and saying, how does anybody in a committee or anything keep? So let's go to the ESPN standings, right? Let's get those pulled up, right? How does anybody keep this? The FBS. This is all conferences for the FBS. Um, all conferences, but we don't want to go there. Let's go to I'm on all conferences right now, but for some reason it's not popping up the way I wanted to pop up, nor is it letting me go by win-loss ratio or any of this other stuff. It's not doing it. But how do you keep a SEC team out? So okay, so the coaches poll and the people's poll, the AP Associated Press top 25, and then you got the coaches poll. I like the coaches poll, me personally, for all NCAFF. But how do you put, and this is kind of why I like the coaches poll, me personally, because I think that, you know what I mean, I kind of, because they know who got what, they know who's doing what. Like, but look, it's just crazy to me. Like, how do you keep four SEC teams out of the playoffs? How? I just don't know. Like, how does a three loss? I'm going to standings, and I'm gonna do like this, and this is to support my argument a little bit earlier what I was talking about. So you have a three. So you got Texas A&M at 5-0, the top of the SEC Southeastern Conference, right? Then you got Alabama 5-0 in the conference, 7-1 overall. Obviously, the Aggies are 8-0. You got Georgia 5-1 in the conference, 7-1 and overall. Ole Miss 5-1 in the conference, 8-1 overall. That's one, two, three, four teams there. Five teams. Texas 4-1 in the conference, 7-2 overall. Fifth in the SEC. Oklahoma 3-2 in the conference, 7-2 overall. Vanderbilt 3-2 in the conference, 7-2 overall. Tennessee 3-3, 6-3 overall. Missouri 2-2 in the conference, 6-2 overall. Right, and they'll probably drop. And then I still think that a couple of these teams, like, and this is the bottom half of the SEC right now, and I think a couple of those teams. But look, we're looking at these teams, right? You're looking at from Texas to Missouri is all ranked. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 ranked teams in the conference. That is not a bias. That they're balling. Their records show that. Like, they're six, and I mean their records show that. And then granted, there's a whole bunch of other conferences, but I don't know how you keep. You got 16. There's 6 of these teams that I think is 7, man. I can say 7, man. 7 of these, the top 7 teams in the SEC, man, can definitely be in the playoffs contending, bro. Like Vanderbilt or Oklahoma, most definitely. Those Oklahoma's D, Texas D, Ole Miss D, and that's what it is. These defenses is crazy. Those defenses is crazy, and they gotta play each other. Like, all right, so now I want to check out the Big 12, right? Because so TCU is 6-2. They're 3-2 in that conference. Arizona State is 6-3. They're 4-2 in the Big 12. Utah 7-2 overall, 4-2 in the division. Utah, Houston, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, and BYU. Right. Um, Utah wasn't even ranked last week. They were done. They were down. They did boat race Colorado. I'm not gonna lie, they did. West Virginia just beat like West Virginia just down here near last in the Big 12 just beat the third best team in the Big 12 conference in Cincinnati. That's not happening over there. But also Cincinnati, like and BYU and Texas Tech play each other, so it's playoff time. It's playoff time for these teams, and I get it. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 teams ranked in the Big 12. 5 of them, which is good. I'm not in the top 25, but only one of those teams is gonna make it, which is good. So shout out to the Big 12 for that. Not gonna knock it. You know what I'm saying? You got 5 teams in the Big 12. I'm in the Big 10 that's ranked, even though I think that Iowa should be in there, definitely should be in the top 3. 6-2 overall, 4-1 in the conference. USC is 4-1, 6-2 overall. Minnesota's a good team. I think Washington is a good team. They just had a tough schedule. I think Washington had a very tough schedule. They should be up there. But yeah, the SC, Iowa, Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, and Indiana. I think, yeah, for sure. Now, do I see 3 of these teams getting in? 3 of these guys? Absolutely. You got Indiana and Ohio State still undefeated at this time. Can't neither one of these teams afford to lose out. But I think that you most definitely can see two or 3 of these teams getting in. And to me, right now, that would be Iowa's defense is really on point. Believe it or not, they really are. They got 2 L's, 2 tough L's to I think to 2 good teams. So we're gonna take a look at their schedule right now because if I'm not mistaken, they lost to well, you losing to Iowa State, that's a no go. That's a bad loss at this point. But losing to Indiana, I think that was a good loss. They beating Iowa State would have helped Iowa a lot, and them not beating them, I think, is what hurt them. But they got Oregon, SC, Michigan State, and Nebraska up on their schedule. Winning out, I don't think that Iowa does that. Tough schedule for them. Really tough sledding for them on here on out. Looking at more um Michigan. Who does Michigan? Indiana. Who did Indiana? Indiana has and I'm pretty sure a lot of people has looked at this so far. They got Penn State, Wisconsin, and Purdue left. I think that they should win out. I think that they should win out with those games. To be honest, I'll be surprised if Indiana don't. But it's going to be playing at Happy Valley is going to be their toughest game. But strength of schedule right now, I think it kind of hurts the Big 12. But we seen Purdue just battle with Michigan, and that's the even I'm a Big 10 bias, but that's the inconsistencies. Like Michigan had no business struggling with the team that was in last place. No business doing that at all. There's no way the team in last place in your conference you should be struggling with. No way. I mean, it goes to show that there's the parity in that conference may be getting close, but no, there's no way that should ever happen. That's why Sharon Moore is very upset with them in the Big Ten. Now, let's go to the ACC and how many ranked teams they have. Like, they got 4 ranked teams and it's all scattered up. Now, you got in the conference, you got Miami ranked above a lot of these guys because of the shared talent that's on Miami's schedule. But Miami is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're the seventh best team in their conference, but they're ranked in the top 25. You know what I'm saying? They're the 17th. Like Duke got a better in conference schedule. Miami has a better overall record than them, of course, at 6-2. Duke being 5-3, but they're 4-1 in the conference. SMU's 4-1 in the conference. Louisville's 4-1 in the conference. Pittsburgh is 5-1 in the conference. Not to say that they didn't play. You know what I mean? The Wolfpack just beat Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is ranked number 8, and they're second in the conference right now. Like, no, that shouldn't. There's too many inconsistencies like everywhere, bro. And not to say that it didn't happen in the SEC because it did, but once again, like, I mean, can you see NC State? Can we see NC State going out and beating um Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia? You know what I mean? Like, so when we look at, so when I say that for the SEC, and what I mean by, so the Gators beating Texas earlier this year. Okay, yeah, they did beat Texas, and Texas is number 20 in the country, and they're also one of the highest. They're the fifth rank in the SEC. But yeah, they lost to Florida, but then you see Florida and they barely lost. But Mississippi State, they beat Arizona State. That's one of the top, if I'm not mistaken, Arizona State. Where was they at in the Big 12? Um, yeah, they're like the sixth best team in the Big 12, and they just beat Iowa State. But I think and they beat Texas Tech. By the way, Arizona State beat Texas Tech, right? But and that's what I'm saying. But Florida could beat every ranked team in this conference. To me, I don't think, and I don't know. Is that a bias? I mean, we never would know, but I mean, look, I mean, BYU, it being undefeated, Florida, and none of these teams ready for Florida's defense. But Texas Tech is the most complete team, with as far as talent, speed. But no, it's not happening. So that's the big four. That's the Power Four conferences. Now I take a look. I mean, the American Athletic Conference, they got to win out. Tulane, I think, got South Florida. They shot themselves in the foot losing to Memphis. Memphis got to win out. Navy still at the top. Navy probably a drop, but Tulane and Memphis play each other, so that's gonna shake some things up. Maybe move up Florida. That's what I'm saying. The loss. Memphis losing to UAB, and then Navy going to lose a game. Like they're going to be the highest ranked G5 program team to get in there. Don't think that that's pretty fair to happen. I don't think so. Because they don't even play. South Florida's schedule was way harder. I think at anything they should be getting a little bit of a look right now, but James Madison is undefeated in the Sun Belt East right now, 7-1 overall, 5-0 in their conference. They didn't take no conference L's. They only lost out of conference game. I can't and let me take a look at that James Madison Duke team. And not to say, I mean, if we're really talking, who did they lose to? That was Louisville. They lost to Louisville 28-14. That was James Madison, but and they do play Washington State. They got to play Coastal. And if we're going to let the highest ranked G5 team in at this point, to me, it got to be James Madison and the James Madison Dukes. And that's purely why, because they're handling business in their G5 program. They lost to a Louisville team that is in the ACC, and I'm trying to think of they pretty much taking care of business. The Louisville lost to Virginia, which the team is leading the ACC right now and really taking care of business, being undefeated in their conference, and losing the out of conference game, but they lost in what was an overtime game or something like that. I can't remember who Louisville lost to. Let me make sure. But yeah, Louisville. That's what I'm saying. Like Yeah, they lost. Yeah, they lost Virginia overtime, like I said. But see that, and that's why. Yeah, the highest ranked G5 program gets into the playoffs. At this point, we gotta look around, right? It got to be the Sun Belt right now. You can't lose the UAB. You lose to UAB, went out in your conference and go to the conference championship. I don't see how that happens. For me, that doesn't work right. But whatever. Because there's other conferences out here that's playing ball, like, and then the Conference USA, for example, Kennesaw State, they haven't lost in conference yet. And neither has Jacksonville. Their Conference USA, they still are highest ranked. They lost to Indiana 56-9, and they lost to Wake Forest. Nope, lost to Wake Forest. Bad loss. If the Indiana was their only one loss, then that would be different. But even getting blown out like that, but that don't happen, right? Which G5 program deserves to get in? Let's check the Mountain West. The MAC's not going to work because they're not losing out. So San Diego State, the Aztecs. If the Aztecs continue to win out, do they deserve to be the highest ranked G5 program? Absolutely. They're first in the Mountain West. You lost to Washington State, and Washington State technically is the Pac-12. I don't really like that loss, but they beat California in the ACC, an ACC team 34-0 that just played the top team in the conference really well. And look, and they got the rest of their. If they handle business and they went out in their conference, absolutely, San Diego State deserves to be the highest ranking G5 program team to make it in to the college football playoff. Without a doubt, they should get that seat. And right now, as of right now, anybody making the brackets, I think that you will have to put the Aztecs up there, regardless of anything. They're handling business. You cannot be a highest ranking G5 program team to get into the playoffs with a loss like that. It can't happen. It shouldn't happen. Like it never, that shouldn't happen. Like, I mean, we looking. South Florida was in control of their destiny. They was in control of being the highest ranking team with beating Florida, with beating the Gators. They were absolute. That was the best win of any G5 team, which still is. But by them losing to a Memphis Tiger team that lost to the UAB team is horrible. Look, UAB is 1-3 in their conference. They're 3-5 overall. I don't think none of their games that they have. I'm gonna check their schedule. I don't want to, just look at the facts. They lost to Alabama. They beat Alabama State. HBCU, shout out to them, by 10, 52-42. They lost to Navy 38-24. They beat Akron 31-28, which ain't good. They got smacked by Tennessee 56-24. They lost to Army 31-13. The Army, they lost to Florida Atlantic 53-33. Got hung 53 on. Then they beat Memphis 31-24. UConn took care of business of them last week, just yesterday, 38-19. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't do that, man. You cannot lose to this team, to UAB, and get in. There's no way, man. There's no way. There's no way, man. It just ain't making sense to me, man. It not. They're 11th in the division. You can't lose that game, Memphis, and then and think that if you win out, they get in. No way. The Aztecs, if the San Diego, if yes, if they get in, if Sean Lewis's team, San Diego State, if they win out, they deserve to be. They are the highest ranking team statistically, and they deserve to be in. They went out in their conference. They deserve to be in. regardless of their loss, they took one L and they lost to a Washington State team that is a tough football team, but they went out, they deserve to be the highest ranking team, man. But with that being said, man, that's the college football week recap. And then gave y'all my picks, or gave y'all some other looks at other things, man. The highest ranking. Appreciate y'all. Like I always say, man, pray for each other. Pray for me. I'm always praying for y'all. Peace.